Episode 5. Why is loving unconditionally onerous? Hey everyone, I'm Madhuri Thakur. Thank you for tuning into Amplify Life. In this show, we will talk about personal transformation, relationships, and life. How would we take responsibility for our own life? How can we grow, accomplish our goals, personal, professional, and relationship goals? We will learn how to unstuck ourselves from our limiting beliefs. We would be talking about practical and tangible actions that we can take and implement in our lives. When you come across any content on unconditional love, you love to share it as you can relate with it and because it's taken as the highest virtue of mankind. However, you must have always thought for a moment that it's easy to say but hard to live, isn't it? Unconditional love is a mantra given by all scholars, philosophers, coaches, gurus for happy relationships and happy life. Unconditional love you can find in almost all songs, movies, and stories. No matter how much you listen to it, read it, or watch it, it's difficult to live the statement practically. That is, I accept you for what you are. Today we are going to talk about the difference between unconditional love and an unlimited amount of conditional love. Because we often mistake an unlimited amount of conditional love for unconditional love. And also we will find the truth and myth of unconditional love. Before we move on, I invite you to know that you can book a consultation for relationship coaching with me in offline, online, or telephonic modes for one-to-one and couple format, and an offline and online mode for group coaching. Now let's move on to the episode. Most of us feel conditionally loved, as we need to act or behave in a certain way in order to be accepted, validated, valued, or loved. If we are good, successful, doing the right things, or the things which others want us to do, then we are valued and loved. However, each one of us wants to be loved even when we are not doing good, we are making mistakes, we are not successful. So there is a deep desire and unmet need of each individual to be loved unconditionally or without conditions or restrictions, at least in the family and in the romantic relationship. No matter what we do or we don't do, no matter what we are and we are not. You must agree that nobody loves restrictions or conditions or wants to be controlled. Freedom is dear to all. Let's move on to the first part of the episode. The difference between unconditional love and an unlimited amount of conditional love. If you want to get unconditional love, then you must be ready or willing to give unconditional love first. And you can give only what you have. You cannot give something which you yourself don't have. So what is unconditional love? It's when you need not change yourself or need not to do anything to be deserving or worthy of love or acceptance. Everybody believes that they love unconditionally or their love is unconditional. When we want to be loved unconditionally, we don't want to change. We want people to accept us the way we are. Doesn't it seem easy? How difficult is it for the other person to accept me the way I am? But when it's your turn to shower unconditional love onto others, then there are always conditions apply. This person is all good. It's just a little change needed, then I will be okay with him or her. We want them to change according to us, our values, our beliefs, and then we think we would find it easy to love them. Like legal documents, we are also programmed to live conditions apply. So let's listen what actually happens. Everybody has a different definition of love. Actually, unconditional love is love without conditions, without restrictions based on our partner's definition of love and not based on our definition of love. And our ultimate goal is to be able to love somebody that they feel loved and become happy. So when we are in a relationship, we love somebody wholeheartedly, truly, and we love them the way we know how to love as per our definition of love. And quite often, we navigate between our comforts and discomforts and what we are willing to put forth in a relationship. So we think that we are loving somebody unconditionally, But we are actually loving them according to our definition, comforts, or conditions or restrictions we put in place. We will talk about different love languages and definitions of love in some other episode. Now let's listen to how conditions pop up in relationships. When we come into a relationship and because of our own insecurities and the things which we have never worked on or worked through, and we put ourselves in a position where we create restrictions of the things that are off limits. And we simply keep ourselves within those parameters to love somebody the best way we know how. This pretty much means that we are willing to love somebody, but only to the extent that we remain comfortable, and it means all of our securities. The moment we start to feel insecure, or the moment we start to feel uncomfortable, that's where we apply the limitations or restrictions or conditions. So what are we actually doing? When we think we are loving someone unconditionally, we are actually providing an unlimited amount of restricted kind of love that we are willing to offer. We stay within our own securities and we think if we provide a bountiful amount of love we are willing to give is somehow going to fill the love tank of your partner. Now I hope that you must have got what confusion I'm trying to clear. I recommend you to listen to it again for a better understanding. Here I want to emphasize that we often confuse or define unconditional love as an unlimited amount of conditional love. The problem is that for many of us, we are not given the opportunity and nobody taught us how to deal with insecurities, how to work through them. We will talk about it in another episode. Here I want to give you a key that if you learn to love yourself, then you will have fewer insecurities and hence fewer restrictions. Let's understand it with an example of the parent-child relationship to encourage and practice self-love. Have you noticed that right from our childhood we are raised within conditions? The restrictions have always been there in the disguise of these structures made for us to be molded in a certain way. Then only people or society will accept you or love you or appreciate you. For example, if you score good marks, then you will be rewarded, or you will be punished if you do a certain act. Now, these days, parents are not that harsh. However, conditions are still there, maybe mild. So for the parents, the love for the child may be unconditional to some extent, as no matter how much he scores in exams, least or highest, they don't stop loving their child. We should not restrict an individual. We should allow them to live free, allow them to make mistakes, make them learn and assure them that we are always there for them and we love them, even if they don't perform well or they don't do well. That's how we teach our children self-love, so they don't seek external approval for being happy or loved or liked, which help reduce insecurities. Here an important tip for all parents: punishments and comparisons are two most dangerous weapons to kill true love, confidence, self-love, self-esteem, and relationships. Here I don't mean that you won't teach anything right to your children. Now again, communication skills are needed. There are communication skills required for parents and teachers too. What we say, how we say, surely shapes our child's personality, relationship with self, and relationship with others, and a beautiful and happy and successful life in totality. Alright, so let's move on to the other part of the episode. Now, if you see unconditional love from the angle of spirituality, then God loves you unconditionally, as He is always there even if you curse Him for your difficulties or pain in your life, or you pray and offer gratitude for your happiness in life. You are a super good human being or you are a worst human being. You can always come back to Him. He is always there for you. Similar is the relationship between parents and the children. Parents' love is always there for the child and it doesn't depend on any condition. However, unconditional love in life partners or spouses or in romantic relationships is a little different picture. Let's talk about the 7 truths and myth of unconditional love in romantic relationships, which I have picked for you. Number 1. There are 2 things we don't want when we are looking for unconditional love. 1. When we are into a constant conflict and feel as if we are trapped in pain, we feel burdened and still choose to be in the relationship. And the other is to abandon and leave the relationship. When we say we want unconditional love, then we actually want an unconditional relationship. We all want an absolute relationship with no fights, no conflicts, no consequences, and no matter what we do, we always want to be valued, accepted, and appreciated continuously. We always confuse between unconditional love and unconditional relationship. Number 2. To want unconditional love is like to be in a world where the important principles that run our life don't work. In episode 1, we discussed the principal equation of life, the principle which operates our life, and that is the cause and effect equation. Newton's third law of karma. Can you imagine any action which has no consequence? So at times, it's unreasonable to think that there will be no consequences or effects of your behavior or actions on your partner. Love still can be there. However, it may affect your relationship for some duration. Number 3. To want unconditional love is to want a relationship where there is no pressure on you and no expectations. We are looking for the feeling of being wanted, being needed. Somebody can hold you forever. So true love means you both take care of each other's unmet needs and resolve each other's pain. You cannot feel good meeting one's needs at the cost of the other's needs. So here comes the terms and conditions. In order to want or give unconditional love, we need to admit instead of denying them, which helps you to have an unconditional relationship. Please listen carefully. To love someone unconditionally, you need to strongly recognize and appreciate the conditions that exist for the relationships to survive beautifully. Number 4. To love unconditionally, you need to understand the beauty of difference. We all are different personalities, different types as per primary sensory distinctions. We will talk about the different types of people as per sensory distinctions in other episode. For example, if my partner is organized or say a visual person and gets irritated when seeing a messy surrounding, and I'm not, I am an auditory person and don't notice the mess around in the house and get irritated by listening to harsh words. So we are different. We are compelled to get irritated and will be in a conflicting situation, provided we learn to appreciate the differences and give the freedom to each other to live or act or behave as per their personality type without making them change to somebody else who they actually are not. Shift your thinking that we are different and not right or wrong, not superior or inferior. Let's appreciate the beauty of difference. You can also listen to episode 3, Tips for Everlasting Relationships. Number 5. Unconditional love does mean there are conditions in relationship. Why do I say so? Because if your actions are directly affecting your partner negatively or to the person who is directly related to you, then of course conditions apply. They may love you, but the relationship will surely get affected. If you want to get unconditional love, therefore unconditional relationships, then you need to learn to forgive and to let go. Imagine yourself as a parent, and if your child does something wrong, then do you still love them? Yes, for sure. Why? Because we forgive them easily as we love them unconditionally. And if you are able to forgive your partner in the same way and feel the same love for them, then you are surely loving them unconditionally. Isn't it easy now to love unconditionally? Number 6. Now I am going to ask you some important questions, and I want you to pause the podcast and answer them. When you say that I want to be loved for who I am, now my question to you is, who are you? Are you the things you do? Are you what you say? Are you your behavior? Or are you your desire? Are you your purpose? Are you your thinking? What do you want people to love you for? Who are you? One of these, or none of these, or all of these? Decide. Once done, then it would be easy for you to look for compatibility. Compatibility to all or most of these answers. Compatibility is an important factor or condition for an unconditional relationship. Number 7. I have one more question for you. Would you continue to appreciate, value, and accept someone if they are an obstacle to your desires, they cheat on you, or abuse you because you love them unconditionally? Does it mean that you are ready to suffer in a relationship because you love them truly or unconditionally? So, what do you really want? The answer is you actually want a person who is conditioned for a relationship or compatible with your conditions, wants, needs, values, and purpose. The fact is that we all are conditioned and have different values and different belief systems. What we need is to be okay with each other's conditions, beliefs, and values. If your partner's 70% values are okay for you, then the rest 30% don't even need to be noticed. We can give them the liberty to be themselves and vice versa. Remember, nobody can be 100% your way, so we need to take responsibility for our own relationships and life. The confusion starts when we start taking being unconditional as the highest virtue of mankind. When we believe that being unconditional is being good and feel pride in being unconditional, rather than being clear and straight for the conditions or values or beliefs or boundaries in the relationships. We need to remember that we are conditioned differently for different relationships, be it professional, parent-child, or romantic relationships. Now, here is something important to conclude. True love includes you. It doesn't push you away. But it does not mean that we should forget or does not recognize the condition of taking care of each other's unmet needs in the relationships. Alright, so that was all for today. The takeaways from this episode are: number 1, when we think we are loving someone unconditionally, we are actually providing an unlimited amount of restricted kind of love that we are willing to offer. So that is not unconditional love. Number 2, true love includes you. It doesn't push you away. So we should remember or recognize the condition of taking care of each other's needs in the relationship. Thank you for being with me. Catch you in the next episode. You can write to me if you want me to take any topic or question of your choice related to personal empowerment, relationships, and life in your own show, Amplify Life. Also, you can book your consultation for relationship coaching with me through Facebook for one-to-one or a couple session. You can contact me for relationship coaching workshops in your society, club, or organization. Also, you can join my training programs on effective communication skills, soft skills, and personality empowerment programs for students and working professionals. To stay connected, I invite you to come along with me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Please find the details in the description. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, comment, and review. See you next week. Till then, keep rocking and shine your brightest.